Welcome to In the Box Seat. I'm Ray Fewings. We're going to preview on the program tonight the Brian Johnston Memorial, and who better to talk about the late Brian Johnston, one of the forefathers of greyhound racing in South Australia, than his daughter-in-law Cathy Johnston, and she'll be joining us as our guest on In the Box Seat tonight. We didn't have a lot of luck at the weekend. Calden Mayhem ran in the heats of the Summer Cup at Wentworth Park. He got as far as the first turn, suffered an injury. I don't know just how bad the injury is, but it might keep him away from the track for a little while. We've got some hope though. Brisbane this Thursday. Stackham Flat is heading up there and is running in a best 8 to coincide, of course, with the Brisbane Cup. But plenty happening around the nation. We've got the Summer Cup in Sydney, the finals on there, the Brisbane Cup as well. Chaser's face in the crowd. Don't forget, if you dine at Chaser's restaurant, make sure you get onto the net for the ensuing weeks afterwards. grsa.com.au. Just check out to see whether they've taken your photo and you appear there, because if it is, it's good news for you. You get dinner for 2 at GRSA's expense. So it's a bit of a bonus and inviting you to come back again next time. As far as the winners are concerned for the week, the girls in the office, the Honeys, have been doing a lot of study, and they've come up with race 2, number 2, Stackham High on Wednesday. Stackham High, of course, is a later litter to Stackham Flat. He's done very well his first couple of runs. A little bit slow to get going. He's had no field practice whatsoever, and he's had 2 good seconds, so he should be very close to the mark on Wednesday. They've also gone for race 4, number 6, Dinah Chain. Suddenly this dog's worked out what's going on. He's beginning faster. His recent form is excellent. He's the last start winner at Gawler in 31-2, and he should go a long way towards winning, according to the Honeys, on Wednesday. On Thursday, race 1, number 6, Karumbasina. Ran a bottler here last week out of the 7. Almost got up at big odds, and they're expecting another huge run from the Sean Matcott trained runner on Thursday night. And of course, they're gone for the great favourite, race 7, number 1, Goosebumps. She absolutely got airborne toward the finish last week when chasing home Where's Pancho, and it looks as though this great chaser is getting somewhere back near her best. The first 4s in the race 1, 6, 2, 1, 8, and in race 7, 1, 4, 2 and 8. The In the Box Seat special for the week is in the Brian Johnston Memorial, race 8, number 2, Victor Troy. He put in a good performance in the semis, ran the fastest time. He looks certain to lead, and he's the dog to run down. Victor Troy for the Brian Johnston final. My best bets for the week, Wednesday, race 5, number 1, Talk and Sport. Only had the 1 run here and was an excellent second. Ran a personal 30 and 31 off the red. If it has improved on that run, it should get very near the 30 and should be a good thing on Wednesday. Also, race 10, number 5, Henry Mallet, down in grade. He's been racing in good company Thursday nights. Drops back to Wednesday company. If he can't win this, I don't know where Henry's going to win his next race. On Thursday, race 5, number 6, Point 2 Over. He's had no luck whatsoever in recent racing, and I think he's drawn to win and in the right race to win on Thursday night. And my other special is race 10, and that is number 3, Buckaringa Lad. If ever a dog deserved to win a race, it's Buckaringa Lad, and he does look nicely positioned in this race. Coming up next, Cathy Johnston talking about the late, great Brian Johnston. In South Australian greyhound racing, there have been a couple of fellas that have been with the sport all the way through and are credited with getting it to where it is today. And they are, of course, Howard Ashton and, of course, the man who was chairman for many, many years, Brian Johnston. And we're fortunate on In the Box Seat this week to have Cathy Johnston, the daughter-in-law of Brian. Welcome, Cathy.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I was trying to work out how many years Brian was chairman. I remember Ron Pine was chairman for a while, and there were 1 or 2 others who had a dip at it, but basically he was the chairman from Waterloo Corner to Bolivar and Angle Park for most of the 40 or 50 years.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, as young people growing up and having children, all we can remember is Pop being here. So, yes, very, very involved and loved it as well.
He wasn't a bad sort of trainer of dogs either. I remember right from the word go, he always had a couple of handy dogs, and we mentioned he had Indo Speed, who won a Hobart 1000, and he had some very handy dogs along the way.
We did, and he loved them as well. And he loved the winning and the racing, and of course passed it on to his son and now his granddaughter. So they're very involved.
Yeah, of course Kim is training now, the granddaughter, and very successful too, your daughter.
Yes, she does love them. She treats them a bit like her children, but and it seems that she's trying to get the grandchildren into it as well. So, I mean, one's only 4, and she said, well, come on, Ashley, you can do it. So it's very cute.
Well, we in the media love Brian Johnston because not only were the media always welcome in the committee room, but he worked at various shoe companies, or a couple of shoe companies, and we always got shoes.
As I did. Yes, Clark Shoes was very good, especially when the children were going to school. Which is another passion. It took him around the world with his shoes as well. So he's very fortunate that way.
Yeah, he was very talented at his work. I think he was one of the heads there for quite some time, wasn't he?
He certainly was, and that's the thing with Brian. Whatever he did was 110%, and expected no other from other people as well.
He would have loved the fact that Darryl got involved with the Greyhounds very successfully. With Brett Lee, had a little piece of Brett Lee, and he had Superstar, was another very good dog.
Yes. Superstar was the one that sort of encouraged everybody. It was a family dog. It was Brian got great delight out of that, winning Adelaide Cups and things like that. It was really good fun.
And of course, Brian would have loved the fact that Kim followed the Greyhounds too, and she had a stint in Melbourne. How did you go while she was over there? Was that a worry for you?
I was with her.
Oh, well.
Yes. We went over there with her and were there about 9 years and come home because of Brian being ill. And, and of course, the children, the grandchildren. Well,
that's South Australia's gain, I guess. Brian brought you all back.
He certainly did. Thank you.
And you train a dog or two yourself. At the moment, you've got Paddy's Return and Peru's Bail. You only keep a couple?
Yes, and we have a Hana at home. But yes, we're only a little backyard just to keep the interest up and gives you a reason to get up in the morning and get cracking. Now,
I notice you said that your daughter, Kim, loves her dogs, and it's pretty obvious because I noticed Prankster pulled up a bit ordinary the other day, and he's been retired, and she's been advertising for someone to give him a couch to lay on for the rest of his life. It must be very hard when you get a really good dog, like Prankster, who was a group dog, and through injury you've got to quit them. They're too good to... or maybe they're not good enough for the gap, or they haven't got the right temperament, but you certainly wouldn't want to discard them. So it must be very hard.
Yes, it is. And that's one thing about Kim. She tries so hard to place the dogs and give them a home, especially ones that have been on the track. They've done every single thing right, and the owners are not in a position to take them back. So she'll put in 110 too, just like Pop to do that.
Well, you'll be watching on Thursday night for the Brian Johnston Memorial?
Definitely, I'll be here. I've got a couple in myself.
Well, we wish you well with your greyhounds, and thanks for being our guest.
Thank you very much.
Cathy Johnston there, the daughter-in-law of Brian Johnston, and certainly you ask anyone that's been in the greyhound game for the whole period here, and no one's got a bad word to say about the late Brian Johnston. He's responsible for what greyhound racing is today. Well, that's in the box seat for this week. Don't forget hot dogs for breakfast every Wednesday morning, 8 until 9, and of course all your greyhound information on grsa.com.au. All the best.